Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys, and welcome to another video diving trader. My name is Daniel, and today, guys, we're looking at advanced micro devices, ticker symbol AMD. Most recent, we've been doing a lot of reviews, a lot of analysis on various penny stocks. While that remains a good idea and exciting, we also need to make sure that we diversify our portfolio. I've said this on many occasions in the past. We were looking at companies that will give us that stability in the long term, and no better than a semiconductor company. Now, we're going to look at why that's probably a good time to look in at a semiconductor company right now. So this is something that's been on my mind for quite a while now. It's something that I've wanted to pay attention to and to do my due diligence on until now. So I'm making this video, and I think it's a sign. I know for a while that there has been a problem with the supply for semiconductors. It's not able to meet the demands for the big electrical car companies, and it's becoming an issue. Okay, so this came up on my news feed yesterday, and I thought no better sign. Must be a sign for me to have a look at this. Okay, so as it mentions here, semiconductor shortage halting car production across North America. So across North America, automakers are being forced to adjust production schedules due to the scarcity of microchips. General Motors, Ford, Stellantis, Toyota, Volkswagen, Honda, Nissan, and Subaru have all adjusted production at some of their North American plants to properly allocate their chips. It is projected that globally the shortage will cost the industry $61 billion, and through the first quarter of this year, 1 million fewer vehicles will be produced worldwide. And here's another article. This one again is 2 or 3 days old. The Biden administration is set to launch a comprehensive review of critical supply chains, including semiconductors, high-capacity batteries, rare earth materials, and medical supplies, says a Thursday report by CNBC. So this is quite interesting to read. It's stated that CEOs of several companies, including Intel, Qualcomm, and AMD, and other members of the Semiconductor Industry Association, wrote to the new president today, stressing the importance of increasing domestic chip production. Okay, so that's the CEOs straight to Joe Biden, and then it goes on. They go on to say, which is again, this is a really interesting read, guys. Semiconductors enable the technologies needed to realize your building You'll build back better goals, including smarter and safer transportation, greater broadband access, clean energy, and a more efficient energy grid, while also providing higher paid jobs for Americans and strengthening our advanced manufacturing base. The letter said, we therefore urge you to include in your recovery and infrastructure plan substantial funding for incentives for semiconductor manufacturing in the form of grants and or tax credits for basic and applied semiconductor research. So yeah, because currently companies like Intel, Qualcomm, and AMD rely on Taiwanese chip foundry TSMC to make a significant amount of their chips. Now, guys, this is quite exciting and it's quite worrying at the same time. I mean, we're talking about cars, but these semiconductors, or should we say chips, are used on every single gadget that you have in your house right now, from your mobiles to your tablets to your cars to your televisions, everything. Now, the demand for this is only going to get even worse. When I say worse, greater, shall I say. So it's something that you start to look at and you think, well, this is exciting for the investor, because if there's a lot of demand and not a lot of supply, it just means that companies like AMD are going to grow very, very quick in the future, especially if they are managing or they manage to get help from the government to push this forward even faster. So let's go and have a look at some of the financials. The financials, as you know, I always go through my 10-step process for these big companies. If you don't know what that 10-step process is, you can see that in one of my videos, how to look at stocks. This is how I personally go through when I'm looking at big companies. So the first thing I want to look at is the price. Okay, so if we're going to have a look at the price and the market cap, we want to see what the company's been doing for these last few years, right? So let's go in and have a look. We can see that the price is round about just under $90, so 89.58 on close of Friday. Yeah, so it's a market cap. The company has a market cap of 108 billion, and they came out into the market back in 1981, where they've had steady price, and then we had an increase in 2000, and then a drop, and we had another peak in 2006, and then another drop, and it's not until really in 2016, 2017 where the demand for chips started to really increase for all companies. So you'll see this very similar on a lot of semiconductor companies. So the next one is the price to earnings ratio, PE ratio, which is 42.6, which suggests, according to Simply Wall Street, which suggests that it's a little bit overvalued. So next one to look at is revenue. We've got free cash flow. As we can see here, lovely, absolutely lovely curve here. Revenues have been increasing, okay, and it started to get really exponential from 2020. So this last year was a very big year. We can see that's due to the uptake on the demand that there is. So the revenue is good. It's continuously increasing. And also the same with their earnings. So the earnings, free cash flow, as we can see, is increasing. So in positive, they were at one point they were in negative, and now they're in positive. In fact, they're 777 million free cash flow at the moment. So that's really good to see. So if we have a look at the financial position for the assets to liability ratio, again that passes both in the short term and the long term. So the AMD short-term assets are 6.1 billion, exceeding its short-term liabilities of 2.4 billion. And then on the long term, we have 6.1 billion against a liability of 708 million. So a great ratio for assets against liabilities. So another thing really worth important considering as well is the AMD's debt to equity ratio 5.7, which is considered satisfactory. AMD have had negative shareholder equity 5 years, is now positive and therefore has improved. It's also well covered by its operational cash flow, which has increased quite considerably recently, and the interest coverage, interest payments on its debt are well covered by its EBIT, so 35.1 coverage on that one. And finally, their profit margins. They have a profit margin recorded of as of 31st of December 2020, 44.73%. So again, good. So we start to have a look at its current prices. It wouldn't be nice to see this a little bit lower to buy in. Having said that, according to the analysis, the graph, it's in a state that could be very bullish. Okay, so there's actually a price target of around about between 99 and 115 dollars. So you have your classic double bottom and a cup in hand, and if it breaks these resistance level up here, we could go up to the $115 mark. So that's what analysts are saying at the moment. So yeah, guys, that's a little bit of an overview on the company. I haven't taken any position on this at the moment. I probably will be this week. What I would like to do is hear your comments in the comments below. I would also like to see if you guys have AMD, what's your thoughts on it, and if there's any other companies, some semiconductor companies out there that's worth me having a look at. So have been looking at the big companies, but I haven't looked at any small companies that could have potential high growth in the very near future. If you do have companies like that, please give me some comments down below, and I'll be happy to look into those companies. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a big like, and don't forget to subscribe, because that helps my channel to grow considerably. Guys, thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, see you soon.